What's up, Canuck fans? Welcome to The Line Change, a Vancouver Canucks podcast, which is a proud presentation of DraftKings Sportsbook, as well as a proud member of the Hockey Podcast Network. Be sure to check out the network for your favorite podcast covering your favorite team at thehockeypodcastnetwork.com, the home of hockey podcasts, every team, everywhere. Now, in this video, we're going to be talking about some more trade rumors, and this time a new name has been brought up in trade rumors for the Vancouver Canucks. I know, it almost seems like everyone on the team is up for grabs at this point. Now, I know what you must be thinking. The Canucks said they were open for business, and yes, they did. But this particular name hasn't really been talked about until now, and that's, of course, Nils Hoglander. Now, according to Rick Dhaliwal, by the way, if you haven't watched our interview with Rick, feel free to go ahead and check that out. Right up here or up here. I'm not sure which way it's going to be, but I will have it title card up for the interview if you guys want to check that out. According to Dolly, teams are calling about Nils Hoglander and his availability. Now, Dolly doesn't exactly say if the Canucks are interested in trading Hoglander or even considering it, but he did say that teams are calling and asking about him. Now, Dolly didn't list any particular teams, but I would imagine several teams are likely looking at Hoglander, and I mean, he's only 25 years old, and I think a lot of people forget that he is still pretty young. Let's take a look at an article from our friends at Canucks Army, particularly Tyson Cole, who has some quotes from Rick Dhaliwal about teams calling on Nils Hoglander. Add another Vancouver Canucks forward to the recent trade rumors surrounding the organization. According to Donnie and Dolly's Rick Dhaliwal, teams have started calling the Canucks on Swedish forward Nils Hoglander. Nils Hoglander is a name out there right now, Dolly shared. Teams are calling on him, no points in 13 games, playing on the fourth line. If the Canucks are willing to trade short-term deals, that's a guy they could move. $3 million per year. He doesn't seem to be getting any traction under Adam Foote. Foote is the fourth coach that has had trouble with Hoglander. Travis Green, Bruce Boudreau, Rick Tocchet as well. This kid might need a change of scenery. He's had one good year in Vancouver 2 years ago when he scored 24 goals. Since then, not so great. Hoglander, 25, was drafted by the Canucks in the second round, which was 40th overall of the 2019 NHL draft, held in Vancouver. The 5'9" winger was injured in the Canucks' second preseason game in the Abbotsford Center, now the Rogers Forum, against the Calgary Flames when his foot got twisted up along the wall in the neutral zone. The injury required surgery, which held Hoglander out for the first 2 months of the season. He has appeared in 13 games this season, but is still searching for his first point of the season. Outside of a handful of periods, Hoglander has been glued to the fourth line for this team, averaging just 11 minutes and 47 seconds of ice time, the lowest of his career. In those limited minutes, he has a -1 rating, 11 shots on goal, and 4 penalty minutes. Dolly later mentioned that maybe Hoglander would benefit from a change of scenery. He was a healthy scratch under all 4 of the NHL head coaches he had throughout his time in Vancouver. Canucks management recently shared that the team is making not only their UFAs available, but players with term who recently committed to the organization. Hoglander meets that criteria as he is in the first year of his 3-year contract, and teams are now interested in acquiring the Swede. We mentioned Hoglander didn't make his debut until December 8th against the Detroit Red Wings. From there, it didn't take long for him to actually end up being a healthy scratch, missing a total of 4 games, although apparently Adam Foote would go on to say that this was on purpose as they wanted to not overdo it with Hoglander. They didn't want him to play in like back-to-backs and stuff like that. And they wanted to rest him because he was coming off of ankle surgery. Then he would, of course, make his return to the lineup on January 2nd. Historically speaking, it hasn't taken Hoglander very long to find the score sheet at the start of his season. In 4 of the previous 5 seasons, the forward has registered at least 1 point in his first game of the year, with 22-23 being the only season that has seen him wait to get his first point. Prior to this year, the longest Hoglander had to wait to get his first point of the season was 3 games. Obviously, now we're up to 13. Here's the thing with Hoglander. In most cases, he's been able to put up points early on in his season, only to either play his way out of solid minutes or be taken out of the lineup due to defensive woes. Throughout the seasons, consistency on all sides of the ice has made itself a key talking point when it comes to his play. Even if the offense has been there, this season the offense hasn't quite made itself present. But as a whole, Hoglander has been one of the Canucks' most consistent energy players throughout a dismal start to January. Since returning to the lineup, Hoglander has played the way many expected him to at the start of the season. He's currently averaging 11 minutes and 47 seconds, like we mentioned. Played per game, which is a career low. We also mentioned that, but may actually be a better decision in the long run, again, because of him coming off surgery. They don't want to overdo it with him. They want him to try and get his legs underneath him and get up to speed. Despite missing more than half of the season, Hoglander currently ranks third on the Canucks in 5-on-5 Corsi with 52.94%. His expected goals for is a little lower, hovering at 47.97%, but still ranks higher than that of Kiefer Sherwood, Connor Garland, and Brock Besser, which is pretty surprising considering Kiefer Sherwood actually leads the team in goals. In his 13 games this season, he has generated 69 scoring chances for 28, of which have been high danger. It's hard to compare Hoglander's in-depth stats to that of his teammates, given that most of them have played many more minutes compared to him. If you take a look at his own stats compared to previous seasons, however, it's clear that the forward is playing with a better projection than how he did in the seasons that saw him falter. Hoglander's current Corsi of 52.94% ranks third throughout his entire career, behind only the 21-22, which was a 53.32%, and 23-24, which was a 53.22% seasons. The next highest Corsi in his career came in 2020-2021, during which he registered 50.43%. The underlying numbers may fall slightly in Hoglander's favor, but in solely utilizing the eye test, the forward has still managed to stand out. In watching Vancouver's past 7 games, Hoglander has been one of the few players to find their skating legs right at puck drop. He has consistently been one of the most dangerous forwards on the ice, despite not quite finding the back of the net, driving deep into the opposition zone and utilizing his creativity to generate quality chances. Let's take a look at Hoglander's stats. Why not? Maybe a little bit of a refresher course on Hoglander's stats. Now, of course, he doesn't have any points so far this season, but we can always take a look back at his career stats. As we've mentioned, 13 games, no points. He's a -1. In his career, though, 306 games played, 58 goals, 57 assists, 115 points, and he is a +13 in his career. Taking a look at his last 5 games, we have here, of course, zeros across the board against Ottawa on the 13th. Of course, he was a healthy scratch against Columbus the other night. 14 minutes and 27 seconds of ice time against Ottawa and no shots on goal at all. He had 1 shot against Montreal on the 12th of January and 11 minutes and 22 seconds of ice time. Against Toronto, he was a -1. He had 2 penalty minutes and 2 shots on goal, and he had an ice time of 10 minutes and 19 seconds. Against Detroit, on the 8th of January, he had 1 shot on goal with 10 minutes and 32 seconds of ice time. And then, of course, against Buffalo on the 6th, he did not have a single shot, and he had an ice time of 10 minutes and 53 seconds. Those are the last 5 games. For Nils Hoglander, obviously, it doesn't really look all that appealing, like on paper. But for the most part, he has played particularly well since he came back from his injury. Let's take another look at his stats. We'll take a look at his overall stats now, season by season. Starting with last year, 24-25, where he played in 72 games and had 25 points, 8 goals, 17 assists. He was a +5 despite only having 25 points and having a abysmal season last year, especially considering the season before that. He had an average ice time of 12 minutes and 8 seconds, 2 game-winning goals. And then you look back at 23-24, which is kind of the best season that he's had as a Canuck that Dolly was mentioning. 80 games played, 24 goals, 12 assists, 36 points. He was a +23 and an average ice time of 12 minutes and 6 seconds, 5 game-winning goals, 120 shots on net. His shooting percentage was 20%. So obviously that is probably a big reason why he had so many goals, because his shooting percentage was so high. And as you can see from the following year, it was drastically went down. It was a 9.6. And then the season before that was a 10.3, 7.6, and then 11% shooting percentage. In 22-23, he only played 25 games. He had 9 points in 25, 3 goals, 6 assists. He was a -4. Average ice time of 12 minutes and 3 seconds. 29 shots on goal. Obviously, that was a shortened season for him. In 21-22, he played 60 games with 18 points, 10 goals, 8 assists. He was a -6. 1 power play goal, 3 power play points. Average ice time of 13 minutes and 5 seconds. 132 shots on net. And then the 20-21 season, 56 games, 13 goals, 14 assists, 27 points. So his his second best season that he's had with the Canucks. He was a -4, 1 power play goal, 1 power play point, average ice time of 15 minutes and 27 seconds with 1 game-winning goal and 118 shots on goal. So, yes, he's had technically one really good season with that being his 24 goal campaign, but technically I would argue he's had 3 decent seasons with the Canucks. With that first season in 20-21, and then of course 24-25. Yes, he didn't get a whole lot of goals in 72 games, but he still managed 25 points in that. And of course, people were probably expecting it to be better than the year before or even matching it. But I still, on paper, it's still comparing it to the other, his other seasons. It's, I would say average at best, at least in my opinion. But those are Hoglander's stats. Now, I want to bring up his contract because his contract was mentioned in this article. As you can see here, this is Nils Hoglander's contract. $3 million cap hit. He's in the first year of a 3-year deal, and it expires in his age 27 season. Now, believe it or not, Hoglander has a pretty decent contract, and it's not one that would be all that difficult for the Canucks to move if they were adamant on trading him and giving him a fresh start, like what Dolly mentioned. So that contract is not going to be very difficult to move. But again, we don't know if the Canucks are actually willing to trade Hoglander or if they see him as part of the rebuild because of his age. And, maybe they're not quite willing to give up on him, but we shall see. Now, before we continue and discuss more, because I do have more I want to say about Hoglander in particular, let's do my mid-show sponsor read. And I'd like to start off by thanking my primary sponsor, none other than DraftKings Sportsbook, the official sports betting and official sports betting partner of the NHL. Never experienced the jaw-dropping moments that make hockey? Well, you can experience them all with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NHL. Missouri listeners, listen up. DraftKings Sportsbook is now live in the Show Me State. New customers, this one's for you. Bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code THPN, that's code THPN, to turn $5 into $200 in bonus bets if your bet wins. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY, which is 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-78-9777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly on behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas. Pass-through per wager may apply in Illinois. 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Restrictions apply. Bet must win to receive bonus bets, which expire in 7 days. Minimum odds required. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio. This is a limited time offer. Copyright NHL 2025, all rights reserved. Thank my secondary sponsor, Gassy Jack Art, maker of this amazing artwork that you see in front of you, as well as behind my shoulder. And you guys can check them out yourselves at GassyJackArt.com. Now, let's talk Nils Hoglander here. Now, I'll admit I'm a little on the fence about this one. Personally, I'm actually a big fan of Hoglander, and I've always liked him. He's got that tenacity to him. He's like a pit bull, and I absolutely love that about him. You know, he doesn't put up with shit. And he can be really scrappy at times. We've seen it on the ice where he kind of, mixes it up. He's not afraid to go after, someone much, much bigger than him. He doesn't care. He's like, you want to go, let's go. So he's got that pit bull mentality, and I absolutely love that about him. And at times, you want a guy like that on your team. Now, yes, he's yet to collect a point so far this season, but he was also out for 2 months of the season because of an ankle injury. And if you've injured your ankle before and he did surgery on it, it takes you some time to, get going again. Now, yes, it's been 13 games, and he's still yet to get a point after 13 games, but I'm not quite ready to give up on him just yet. Let me know in the comments if you guys are ready to give up on Nils Hoglander. I do think that Hoglander could very well be a part of this rebuild that Jim Rutherford has officially said is a rebuild. I know he had those 2 interviews, one with PJ and one with Gary Mason. So I do think Hoglander can be a part of this rebuild. And, as what I've mentioned already, he's only 25 years old. He's in that age range that Jim Rutherford wants and that the team wants to, get when it comes to, acquiring players. He's already in that age range. Yes, he's 6 years into his career and has had technically one good season, which was the 23-24 season where he had 24 goals. I just can't get behind trading him right now. But that, again, that's just me. Do I think he can get things turned around and going? Yeah. I know he's been playing a lot of fourth line minutes, but why not try him up higher in the lineup and see if that'll jolt him, see if you can put him on the second line, or maybe even throw him with PD and Carlson, have a Swedish trio on that first line. Just try it out is all I'm saying. Have it. And my buddy Gerald, who does post games with me, he's probably going to get a kick out of this. You can literally do the Swedish touch with Hoglander, PD, and Carlson. Not going to hurt to try it out, right? And I think Adam Foote should at least attempt it. See, and hey, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But it doesn't hurt to try it at least for a little bit, see if it, jolts him. Maybe PD can help him, We all know the chemistry between Hoglander and Petey. Why not test that out? Now, I know we're all about the tank right now, but Rutherford did say getting the younger guys some playing time. Well, I would certainly say Hoglander fits that category because he is young and he needs a jolt. And that's not going to happen if he's either healthy scratched or playing 10 minutes a night or being on the fourth line. But again, that's just my take on it. And because I'm such a big Nils Hoglander fan. I want to know what you guys think. Do you think that the Canucks should actively shop Nils Hoglander? Do you think he needs a change of scenery? Or are you like me, where you're willing to give him another chance and keep him around for the rebuild? Do you think he should be playing higher up in the lineup to try and maybe get him going? Which teams do you think would be interested in acquiring Hoglander? And what could the Canucks maybe get in return for Hoglander? Like, what do you think Hoglander is worth in a trade? Do you think they can get a decent draft pick for him? Maybe even a player? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. And as always, if you guys like this video, be sure to hit that like button. And if you want to stay up to date on all your Vancouver Canucks content, be sure to smash that subscribe button and turn on your notifications so you don't miss a single video. Also, our official merchandise store is available. We are actually currently selling our 1-year anniversary collection as we are rapidly approaching our 1-year anniversary. Go ahead, check it out. TheLineChangePodcast.threadless.com. It has completely with our redesigned logos, the blue and green version, and of course we have a skate version. And even I have to admit that skate version logo on the black hoodies looks absolutely fire. I might be a little bit biased, but go ahead, check it out. Once again, TheLineChangePodcast.threadless.com. And if you'd like to have further conversations and discussions such as this one, feel free to join our official Discord. There's a link in the description down below. It's completely free to join. And if you want to find and interact with us on social media, we're everywhere: Facebook, Instagram, X, TikTok, even Blue Sky. Feel free to give us a follow on all of our social media platforms. And speaking of platforms, if you prefer an audio version of this podcast, you can find us on both Spotify and Apple Podcasts. On Spotify, feel free to give us a follow, as well as rate and review us on either platform. Also, if there's a favorite episode that you absolutely just loved listening to, feel free to download it, as that also helps out the podcast as well. So it would be greatly appreciated if you could do that. But that's going to do it for me. As always, I can't really say let's go Canucks. So let's keep tanking. Let's keep tanking. What do? We tank. I'll catch you guys next time.
If you like the show, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe. It really does help the show to grow. Thank you for listening.